Hello everyone, I am Idona John Baptist with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, the pilot health insurance scheme gets good reviews after its first year with $2 million disbursed so far. The court charges the aunt of a 15-year-old burn victim. And in sports, the Champions Trophy set to be replaced with back-to-back T20s. The details of the news coming up.
Do you need more cash for that home improvement? Then come to Fast Cash, where we give you more. At Fast Cash, our customers get more funds and more time to repay. But wait, can't come to us? We'll come to you, and our mobile officer will get you on your way. Small businesses, consumers, and taxi owners. Fast Cash has more for everyone. Simply call or visit any of our locations for more. Smarter, faster, better. Fast Cash. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to the Channel 5 News. First up, we begin with this tragic news of an accident in the Castle Bruce area, which has claimed the life of one person. We're also told that several passengers were injured. The matter is being investigated by the police. We'll have the official police report in a subsequent newscast. In other news, more than a month after a 15-year-old girl suffered burn injuries, her aunt was charged on Thursday for grievous bodily harm.
Karina Eugene of Bells was arraigned at Magistrates Court in Roseau. She was not required to plea after the charge was read to her, since grievous bodily harm is an indictable offense to be tried before judge and jury. She is accused of causing burn injury to her niece on March 17, 2018. Magistrate Bernard Paquette granted bail to Eugene in the sum of $12,000. However, she was remanded pending someone to stand her surety. Police prosecutor Davidson Cadet had initially objected to bail, but withdrew after the court learned Eugene was pregnant. He also expressed disappointment that a welfare officer was not present at the court proceedings. The preliminary inquiry is set for September 6, 2018.
The Dominica Association of People Living with Disabilities is spotlighting the plight of two young men living with disabilities who are unable to find jobs despite their qualifications and skills. Celius Charles of Coolibistry and Loic Charles of Goodwill Stories differ, but they share a similar challenge, that of not being able to secure employment. They are both members of the Dominica Association of People Living with Disabilities. 33-year-old Celius lost his left leg 4 years ago, and Loic was born visually impaired. Before his leg was amputated, Celius earned a bachelor's degree in environmental engineering in 2010 at a university in Mexico through a government scholarship.
I taught at the Dominica Grammar School and at Portsmouth Secondary School before going away to do my studies. I lost my leg on September 28th, 2014. I lived on Grand Savannah, Salisbury, and my neighbor accused me of doing certain things I didn't do, and then he didn't think rationally, just took a shotgun and shot me in the back of my leg. Yeah, and when they rushed me to the hospital, they could do nothing else but cut the leg.
But Celius's mobility is not entirely crippled. He has been using a prosthetic leg for the past 3 years, to the credit of DAPD's partnership with the France-based Keep Walking Association.
Mrs. Murphy and the DAPD had organized an event on the beach in Miro, and I went there and she introduced me to Mr. Haley, and then from there I was the first person to ever receive a prosthetic leg. It has been life-changing, as it has given me hope, helped me with my mobility issues.
Notwithstanding his challenges, Celius attempted to pursue further scholarships with the state on his quest to earn a master's degree.
I tried to study in China, they didn't take me. I tried to study in Morocco, they didn't take me. After the accident, yes. after I got the leg.
In Loic's case, he continues to seek employment as a holder of an associate's degree in IT from the Dominica State College. The 22-year-old was the first visually impaired person to pull off the achievement in Dominica. He is hoping to leave to pursue his BA in marketing at a university in Texas this August, but is facing some financial setback.
We have been sending applications at the government for financial assistance so that I could get to go study, because I already got the tuition. I got a scholarship for the tuition from the school. So basically everything else, we needed a bit of assistance. And as of now, we're still, waiting on an answer from the government. I have been accepted since last fall. We're trying to see all where funds can be sourced from so that I can have the complete funding required.
Even as he has received a commitment from the state, he still awaits assistance. In the meantime, he has been on a job hunt since graduating from college in 2016.
I've been applying, yes I have, and to no avail as yet, but I'm keeping my head above water, so I'm just hoping that at least a few of my applications will be at least answered or responded to in a positive way. In my opinion, from my personal experience, it's mainly because of my disability, because I had one particular business actually tell me, basically they said we don't really have jobs for blind people here. So, that was a bit of it didn't break my spirit. I wasn't surprised. That was last year actually. So I was just thinking, hey, in 2017, I mean, there can be a lot better, a lot more done in terms of getting disabled people involved in the economy.
Loic says his disability should not be taken as an inability on his part.
I do my own music, I do my own mixing, everything, and I am also quite versed in information technology, computer as well. I'm actually going to major in marketing when I go to university, because I figure that, I already love music, and since so even if after I graduate university, if I don't get anything pertaining to music, immediately I can at least, the marketing is a broad aspect.
In related news, Executive Director of the DAPD, Natalie Murphy, says these experiences are examples of the non-adherence to the UN Convention on the Rights of People Living with Disabilities. Murphy's position is that given government has ratified such a treaty, it should allow for more inclusion of people living with disabilities in society.
2 articles in that convention make provisions for education of persons with disabilities and the right to work and employment. These 2 articles, the government of Dominica is obligated to ensure that persons with disabilities gain access to employment, that they are not discriminated against, that there is not prejudice or in a subtle way prejudice, that society or employers are reluctant to employ persons with disabilities. So we are still a long way off in terms of getting these 2 articles implemented.
As the DAPD presses for change, Murphy says the organization will continue to provide support and services for its members.
We are happy that through our advocacy, we have seen persons with disabilities being educated. Loic, for instance, is a special case because he's blind and he has gone through the whole system up to college level and is now waiting final word for him to go to university. These are things that we as an organization have supported and hoping that it will come through. Silas, on the other hand, he is a very educated young man and he's an amputee, and he has been challenged in finding employment. We will continue to meet with the relevant authorities to ensure that the situation improves and changes for the better.
The government of Dominica ratified the UN Convention in October 2012, 4 years after it entered into force. The UN has dubbed it the first comprehensive human rights treaty of the 21st century. In other news, leading telecommunications service provider Flow did its part on Thursday to help motivate and inspire convent high school students to consider careers in information and communication technologies, or ICT.
Thursday's session, facilitated by Flow's commercial staff, formed part of International Girls in ICT Day. It also supports the UN Sustainable Development Goal of promoting the education of women and girls in ICT, creating greater diversity. Statistics show that men far outnumber women in the field of ICT. Students at Thursday's event benefited from motivational speeches and videos, familiarizing them with Cable and Wireless Flow, the company's network and services.
So why ICT? 90% of the jobs in the future will require ICT skills because technology is improving on a day-to-day basis, right? Every day something new is coming up. Every day we're inventing new things. So you need these skills for future jobs. Science, technology, engineering, and math. How many persons like math? My hand is down. But math is also very important, right? We may not like it all the time, but it is a very fundamental aspect as it relates to ICT. Some of the key functions led by women in Cable and Wireless Dominica: retail sales manager, marketing and communications executive, HR and business support, whoop whoop for Shani, commercial manager, retail store manager, whoop whoop for me, and dispatch supervisor, okay? And we want to get this list growing. This is not enough. Do you all agree? Yes. It's not enough. We want to see women heading some of our major departments, and not just at Flow, but other areas in Dominica.
ICT Day is celebrated in over 160 countries every fourth Tuesday in April. The goal is to create a global platform to showcase careers for women in the ICT industry and empower girls to pursue careers in that field.
Make a plan and stick to it. Start thinking of what you want to be. Start thinking of which field in ICT that you want to get into. Start figuring out, how do I get to that point? What do I need? I may not like the math, but I need to do it because it's a vital component of getting to where I need to be. So make your plans. If you don't have a plan already, I'm sure some of you do, but if you don't have a plan already, start putting it together. Start wrapping your minds around it. Work with each other, because at the end of the day, we want to get to a point where women they have a better share, okay, in ICT, but we want to do it together. We don't want to do it alone. We want to bring up all our sisters with us, right? So work together. Make your plan, write it down, and stick to it. You may get sidetracked at times. You know, there are times where you may want to give up. Things are not easy, right? To get where you want to be, it will never be an easy road. You will have stumbling blocks, but stick to it and work with each other. You'll always have your miss that you can go to, you know? Get advice from her. Get advice from other women in your community. In Dominica, look at motivational videos, but don't stop, okay? You are a bright group. And I really, really, really want to see you guys grow, especially in ICT, because it's the future.
International Girls in ICT Day is backed by the International Telecommunications Union, ITU.
This is Channel 5 News, a new fringe event for jazz and Creole. That and more when we return.
Moun ki ni TB estene e ben tousse, moun ki en bonne santé oli wen ka respire se vermine la. Moun ki pani bon tempérament kon sa ki ni maladie HIV, alcool, ka fumer, ti mamay e grand moun bien sensible pour ces maladies ça là. Moun ki ka tousse ni pour prendre précaution le yo en parmi moun en place publique, couvert bouche ou le ka estene et tousse. Visitez docteur et ben place santé. Fini tout traitement yo ba ou sa joine guérison et puis maladie TB. En responsabilité ou aider du bout de maladie TB et HIV, protéger corps et les autres.
Thanks for staying with us. Coordinator of the Pilot National Health Insurance Program is reporting that approximately $2 million have been spent in its first year of existence. Andrea Louis has that story.
The NHIP, launched on 3rd April last year, targets mothers aged 35 and under and children 3 years and under. The pilot program was funded to the tune of $5 million through the country's Citizenship by Investment funds and is being administered through the Dominica Social Security DSS. Deputy Director of the DSS, Augustus Etienne, says the first year of the pilot health insurance program has been successful.
From our experience, we want to say that we realized that the program is very important and it's very useful. It's meeting a very useful need, as you will appreciate from the difference it has been able to make in the lives of the number of children and their families who have benefited from the program so far. For the first year of the program, we have seen how useful a program it is, and it is something that is needed on a larger scale. And that is why the expectation is that that pilot program will lead to the full-fledged program that will cover the entire population. But the workings of that full-fledged program is still being determined with technical assistance from the Pan American Health Organization and the Health Economics Unit of the University of the West Indies, who are providing technical assistance. The government of Dominica in terms of the design.
The NHIP gives financial assistance to children who need medical attention not available in government's health system. Coordinator of the pilot program, Johanna Bertrand, says this initiative has been a lifesaver.
We have had to give assistance to babies 2 years old, 2 days old. And you can just think of it, if the parents had to go out to try to find that funding, probably that would be a little unreasonable, because you have a 2-day baby, you're trying to save the baby's life and you don't know where the money is coming from. They are amazed sometimes that we are prepared to go that big long mile for them, but it is a pleasure to be able to assist, and I think that is one of the best decisions that the government has taken, to take care of our babies, because they are our future leaders.
The program was created on the premise that government, through DSS, pays 80% of the cost, while the claimant pays 20%. Etienne says, unfortunately, there have been delinquent claimants in this program.
We have a little challenge in getting some of them to honor their commitment to meet their 20%, but it is something that we are working on still, and we hope they will be so grateful for the difference that the program made to their children, that maybe it's financial difficulty that is causing them not to be able to meet it, but we expect them to show some good faith and come to us. Don't stay away, come to us, tell us what difficulties they're having, pay something small as it is towards their debt. But it is an important thing that they make that contribution.
To date, there have been 13 claimants and 14 beneficiaries under the pilot National Health Insurance Program. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
Meantime, Channel 5 News caught up with the most recent applicants for the pilot health insurance program, who say the NHIP is a godsend.
I am a mother of twin premature boys. I had them at 25 weeks. When I heard about the program, I was kind of excited, because I was wondering how will me and my family be able to take care of it, of the expenses of the kids, if it wasn't for this program. Right now we're just going through the whole process until we get through, and I know we'll get through. It will be better if they travel out of the country, because they will be able to get better medical assistance because of how young they were born.
You will never know how difficult it is unless you're the one in the situation. We end up in the situation, so we actually understand what it is about. But other than that, people may have different things to say about the program, but for us, it's a life-saving one at this present time. When we got the estimate from Matnick, the costing we saw, it was unbelievable, because when I looked at it, it was 110,800 plus euros per child. And I think that stay was just for about a month. So when you have to convert that times 2 in Eastern Caribbean currency, it's almost $750,000.
The very first beneficiary of this program was 3-month-old Adija, who was born with cataracts in both eyes and was transported to Barbados for medical attention. Coordinator of the program says the DSS has kept in touch with the family, and by all reports, the baby is doing well.
Well, she's doing a lot better. She has had to have further medical treatment, and we have continued to assist. So as long as there is need for the assistance, we will continue. Like even some of the parents who come and they have to go to Matnik, the first question they ask is, what happens if the baby has to stay longer? As we always tell them, that is not your worry now. Your concern now is to get your baby to Matnik, and whatever other bills, once they are coming from the hospital, we are under, it is our obligation to meet those bills.
A new activity has been created for the Jazz and Creole Fringe events to bring in more revenue to the north of the island. This new event will take place in the town of Portsmouth and is expected to attract a different group of tourists to the island.
And we're doing that in collaboration with the Portsmouth Association of Yacht Services, PAYS. So we believe that this additional event on Saturday will have two benefits. First, we anticipate that these events will attract people to the north for a longer period, not only one day, Sunday, but to come in earlier, probably Saturday and Sunday. So they'll stay for multiple days. And secondly, we're focusing on the yachting community, trying to attract them to come into Dominica, and particularly the north.
As a result of the recent marriage between the Culture and Tourism Ministries, one of the Domfesta activities will also be promoted as a Jazz and Creole Fringe event.
And on Thursday the 17th, which is now a fringe event of the Jazz and Creole, is our Domfesta Explosion at the Old Mill, starting at 5 o'clock. Before the event, the performances begin at 7. We're having a sip and paint. So we're asking people to come down, relax in the atmosphere of the Old Mill and try your hand at painting. And then the show itself would start at 7 o'clock, and featuring the main band would be the T-Orchestra Band. And you have artists like Tasha P, the reigning Calypso Monarch, that's the Bob, White Fairy. Going to have dancers, the White Kabuli dancers, Gandhi and Rebecca, and poetry, Monel Alexis, Yakima Coffey, Delroy Williams. So it's a mixture of art forms in one beautiful package. That's why it's called an explosion.
According to the CEO of the Discover Dominica Authority, the other Domfesta events will be used to enhance Tourism Awareness Month, which is observed in May.
We're also including the Domfesta calendar as part of the Tourism Awareness Month, which will be happening in the month of May, as most of you know. May is the month for us to talk about all things tourism related, yeah? And we're happy to bring in the Domfesta calendar of events as an entertainment package for that month as well.
And former head of the National Workers Union, Rollins Jemmott, says Dominica has suffered from a dearth of strong leadership. Speaking in the context of the Prime Minister's recent decision to invite former UWP Member of Parliament Joseph Isaac into his cabinet, Jemmott says Mr. Skerritt's leadership is exceptional and he should not dwell too much on the critics. Jemmott believes Dominica has had a serious lack of good leadership going back to the early days of the country's political life.
It happened not because of Skerritt himself, but it happened from since Libla. The leaders of the countries, Peter Libla, be PG, be Eugenia Charles, be Edison James, which is they're all in the same boat, because the people around them are the people that destroy them. Whereas there are people outside opposing them, but the people around them are not the one helping them. And the Prime Minister, he has a team there, and he needs their loyalty, because it's important to that, because I think that the country needs leadership. And the country has a serious problem of second-hand leadership. Second-hand leadership starts from every walk of life, in every business sector in this country. In the administration, be it private sector or government sectors. The middle management is what destroys the country.
That's news. Your sports highlights next with Kenny Williams.
M&J Covering is the producer of Designed, Galvanized and Galvalumed in Dominica. They design to your specifications, color and length 4 styles of galvanized and Galvalume pre-painted roofing sheets as requested and supply all your Galvalume accessories. M&J Covering helps you control spending and reduce waste. At M&J Covering, they are also equipped to build your roof to precise standards anywhere on island. So come to M&J Covering at 1 Mile in Portsmouth or call 445-5001 275-5003 today.
In football, one local sporting head is motivated by the crowd support he has seen at games as of late. Sports coordinator Trevor Shillingford expressed satisfaction at the turnout at the primary school's football final on Wednesday, where a massive and appreciative crowd cheered on the teams. He noted one should never underestimate the value of crowd support in sports.
It's very encouraging. We are very pleased with the level of support that the young footballers are getting. And as you rightly said, this is something that we have been advocating for a very long time. We believe that it is one of the missing factors in terms of motivating our sports persons. And we are seeing it here today, and you can see the level of play that the young boys are displaying there. And we are convinced that they actually feed in from what is happening in the stands. And I think that is tremendous, and this is the type of things that we really want to see happening, because very often we make reference to Grenada, we make reference to Jamaica, but when you look at these countries, what is really happening with their sports is the crowd support, the support that the young players are receiving from their colleagues, the support that they're receiving from the parents, the support that they're receiving from their schools, and that is really key. And we are very happy with what is happening here today, and this is a very fitting end to the 2018 Primary Schools Football Championship.
Following Hurricane Maria, the sports division took a decision to forego competition in the younger categories and concentrate on the senior ones. However, Shillingford says he could not give up the primary school football championship since it is a crucial stage in local football development.
This particular football competition has had a serious impact on the development of football at this secondary schools level. And those who would be following our secondary schools football would realize that there have been a marked improvement in football at the under 15 and the under 17 level. And for us, we felt that it was really a very difficult pill to swallow to have to cancel this particular tournament. We understand it had to be done as a cost-cutting measure. But for us, we went all out to ensure that we would be able to sustain this championship. We were very happy to receive support from Sported Dominica. That is an organization based in Switzerland. And we provided them with enough justification to allow them to go out there and to do the level of fundraising activity to actually assist us in having this championship. And we are very grateful it is happening. We are not disappointed because we are very encouraged by what we are seeing here today and what we have seen throughout the tournament.
Meantime, Channel 5 Sports caught up with Dominica Football Association president, who was observing the game from the stands. DFA's sporting head says the future looks promising based on the talent on display in Wednesday's final. He also joined Shillingford in noting the positive impact of crowd support in sports.
Kudos to the coaches and the various schools. I mean, you saw like you said, the control, the passing of the ball, more than one passes on both sides. It wasn't just ball kicking all over the place. It was real. At that age, the understanding of football, it's there. I mean, that is just wonderful for the schools, for football and all in general in Dominica. And we have to congratulate the youngsters for producing and performing very, very attractive here this afternoon. I think it's a very wonderful tournament. Under 14 boys happen here at the Wizard Sports Stadium. We are seeing the talent of the youngsters at a very early age. Both teams. That's the reason why, if you notice, the dunk size of the playing field is 7 versus 7. You don't want it to be 11 versus 11 because you want persons to enjoy the game, and you are seeing that's what's happening. You see the crowd, the support from the various schools. They're both here in large numbers. In terms of the other persons from maybe the Portsmouth area and the SMP overall area, they are there in large numbers. So that will contribute a lot to the development of football. That also contributes to a lot of the development of the youngsters, because they want to know that persons they're appreciating whatever they're doing.
On the basketball scene, where timely contributions by Kohath Baron and Jacob Barry helped put St. Mary's Academy in a dominant position in the school's basketball championships on Wednesday. SMA finished 35 points ahead to defeat Dominica Grammar School 77-42 in the under-20 category at Lindo Park. For St. Mary's Academy, we had Kohath Baron with an impressive game high of 23 points, which included 5 rebounds and 7 steals. Jacob Barry closely supported with 22 points, 7 rebounds, 7 steals. Jonathan Henderson, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 7 steals. And Loic Simon, 4 points, 15 rebounds, 8 steals. In a losing effort, Dominica Grammar School's Malik Lora netted 14 points, 15 rebounds, 5 blocks, while Cameron Leatham added 14 points, 5 steals, and 4 assists. The league is scheduled to continue on Monday at Lindo Park, where SMA will be hoping to continue on a winning note when they take on the boys from PSS at 3 in the afternoon. And on the international cricket scene, the International Cricket Council ICC is set to replace the Champions Trophy with back-to-back editions of World T20. The future of one of the most popular ODI tournaments has been seemingly sealed, with the ICC board moving to replace the 2021 Champions Trophy with a World T20, which is scheduled to be held in India. That will be the second World T20 in 2 years, following the 2020 event in Australia. India will host the 2021 World T20 as well as 2023 World Cup. A recent ICC release says this change provides opportunities for 16 teams to compete at a global level with a sub-regional, regional and global qualification process every 2 years, giving more regular cricket to more members. According to one ICC board director, the potential revenue to be earned from this change assures all 12 full members a portion of approximately US $2.7 billion in the 2016-2023 rights cycle. This is under the assumption that a World T20 with more matches would raise more revenue than a Champions Trophy. Additionally, ICC officials say the World T20 will be a more inclusive tournament with 16 teams as opposed to just 8 in a Champions Trophy. That's all the sporting highlights for now. I am Kenny Williams. Be sure to join us next time.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fence pipe. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
To end the news, the headlines again. The pilot health insurance scheme gets good reviews after its first year, with $2 million disbursed so far. The court charges the aunt of a 15-year-old burn victim. And in sports, the Champions Trophy set to be replaced with back-to-back T20s. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Idona Jean Baptiste. Thanks for watching. Join us again tomorrow.